Welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday, so if you wouldn't mind, please don't forget to subscribe. I just forgot to have my microphone in front of my face. That would be very, very helpful. Hello and welcome back. I hope you could hear all that. Let's take a look at what's going on for Bitcoin right now. We are looking at $62,080 there, and Ethereum is looking at $3,413. So we have seen a slight move to the downside within the last 24 hours, but we're holding these prices very nicely. So fingers crossed that continues, and maybe this will give some time for some altcoins to pump. That's what we're talking about today. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end and smash that like button. Hello, everybody in the chat today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, Dream Tanks TV says Dogecoin to the moon. Let's take a look at that. Doge is currently down 5.62% within the last 24 hours, but up 44.8% within the last week. That is absolutely insane to see for a top 10 token like this. We've also got Solana up 30% within the last week, so really nice movements for those high cap coins right now. And Avalanche is up 16% as well, so we are seeing some big changes here. Link up over 10%. Peter Dell says hopefully altcoins go ballistic. Well, I think there is a real big opportunity here. And what we tend to see in the markets, in a bull market, is that Bitcoin will perform really well. And then when it's having that cool off period, it's seeing some sideways action, the altcoins step in. And when the altcoins step in, they can soar. So this is what I'm hoping for right now. I'm hoping that Bitcoin can hold these levels strong, and therefore it gives the altcoins time to shine. So fingers crossed that's what plays out, but we'll be going into detail about this today. So let's get on to that. Let's first of all take a look at this article here from CoinDesk, because they have reported Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs around the world. So although we haven't seen Bitcoin hit an all-time high in terms of its dollar value, we have seen it reach all-time highs in 30 plus countries, including China and India, and a list of many, many more. So if you take a look at the charts comparing Bitcoin's price to fiat currencies, you can see all-time highs being reached in many different countries around the world. I just thought that was a really positive article to start off today's stream. And very nice to see some all-time highs being hit, and hopefully one day soon we do see an all-time high in terms of the dollar value as well. Let's take a look at what's going on with the Bitcoin chart here first of all, though, before we kick off today's stream and really get into the cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at what's going through the chat. Jason Smith says Bitcoin 35% up, 2% down, still a win, 100%. I'm just really hoping that Bitcoin manages to hold this price range here, and that really will give those altcoins a time to shine. So 2% down isn't really a problem. I want to see a breather at this point, if anything. I don't want to carry on going up in that straight line, because that is dangerous, it's dramatic, and it makes me fearful about what's to come. What I like to see is some consolidation after nice big pumps like this, gives Ethereum and altcoins time to shine, and it builds nice supports for Bitcoin as well. So what's happening right now is exactly what we want to see in the markets, to be honest. Peter Dell says, Jess, I so wish you can review one of the coins I put in the chat, please. I'll take a look at some high cap coins, but I'm not going to have a look at some really super low cap coins on the live chat. First of all, I can't give financial advice. I can't tell you whether a token is good or not. And second of all, it takes a lot of research to decide whether a low cap coin is good or not. If you ask me a coin, I'll know. I can talk about it all day. But if you want me to give you an opinion on a coin that I've never read about, it's difficult. It's difficult. So let me know if you've got any high cap coins you want us to look at in the chat today. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat. Good morning, PG. Good morning, Marion. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, let's take a look at what's going on here on the 4-hour chart. So we have created some sort of support. Let's draw this on and see if we have used this level of support anywhere else. First of all, I would say that we used it on the way up, because we did have that kind of correction candle there, and this is at the $61,000 level. So if we rewind back to 2021 actually only, let's see what has happened at this price point previously, and do we have any strong levels if you being proof of us using this level previously? Well, I do think there's definitely a zone here that is of importance. If we get a rectangle here and we pull from across at this point here to this point here, I would say that level has been a zone Bitcoin has been trapped within and bouncing externally multiple times. So this is between the $62,600 level and the $60,300 level. So we are really in that zone right now. It would be brilliant to see us break above that $62,700 level and use it as a level of support. If we take a look at what's happened previously at this point in the kind of April pump as well, you can see that this was used as a level of resistance and support a couple of times here. So $61,000 is proving to be maybe potentially a new level of support that we can hold on to. But we'll have to see if we can get a few more confirmation bounces in the in this kind of next couple of weeks before we really rely on that as a strong level there. But right now it's looking good. It's looking positive. We're seeing nice price action. We're seeing a nice bounce to the upside right now. It is Friday. So I'm being cautious here, but also I'm happy that it's Friday because seeing some sideways action here is exactly what we want to see. As I've said, I really want to give the altcoins and those high cap coins the breathing room to perform well. And to do that, Bitcoin does need to take a little bit of a breather. And at the same note, we don't want Bitcoin to just be going up in a straight line. We all know how that goes when we take a look at some really low cap coins. We want to see Bitcoin creating some consolidation, creating some levels of support. So with it being Friday, that gives me a lot of confidence here that we will get that opportunity. Peter Dell says, don't worry, Jess, I won't suggest the shitcoins like Pepe or Shiba with zillions of coins. I don't know. I can't see them going to zero. Meme coins, I think they are here to stay, and it's shocking because we've been in this industry for long enough, and you'd think that we are really looking for utility at this point in time, but I still believe that community is the most important thing in the space. We've seen a meme coin craze happen in 2020, end of 2022, I think it was, and surely by then you'd think that meme coins weren't coming back. I think they are here to stay. Unfortunately, I do. People like coins with no utility. It's literally just a tool to bet on the demand of a token. Let's see what's going on. Peter says meme coins are a joke. They are, but they can be used for good. They can be used to make profits. I don't tend to dabble in them that much. I wouldn't really call Dogecoin a meme coin at this point in time. I think that's kind of removed itself from the category. Yes, it doesn't have much utility, but it's one of the OGs. But when it comes to new meme coins coming into the space, I can see them pumping again. I can see us having a meme coin kind of craze and hype again, because that's just what people like in the markets. People like the idea that you can make a huge amount of money off a stupid investment. We've seen it over and over again. I do think there is opportunity there. I don't see them going away. So we'll see how that plays out in the bull market. Rob says salt is not far from previous all-time high when looking at market cap. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Solana market cap. Is it that easy to type it in? Here we go. We found it. If we take a look here on the daily chart, very, very close to that previous market cap. If we take a look at this here, we are approximately only 34 only. I said only. It looked like it was less than that. 34% away from reaching the previous market cap, which is a significant number. But if we take a look at the Solana price, we can see what the difference there is. Obviously, this is going to be different because the number of tokens in circulation is different. We're looking at about a 90% increase to get back to that 2021 all-time high for Solana. And you know what? I used to be so bearish on Solana following the FTX news, following it going down all the time, following its mobile issues. Solana's had so many problems and it still holds strong. I used to be so bearish on this token. I'm not anymore. I'm not bearish on it, but I'm not betting on it either. I think it's backed by a load of VCs. I think its price is pumping when it shouldn't necessarily. I mean, the network went down and then we pumped in the next 24 hours. How does that make sense? Solana just goes against all of my expectations, and that's why I don't touch it. I think it has a huge amount of potential, but I think that's based on the strength of the community. It has a super strong community. I understand. In the last bull market, I invested in Solana because I like the technology. I was researching how the technology works with its proof of history and all the benefits Solana had, its faster transaction fees, its lower transaction speeds, and I really bought into the idea that Solana was a top 10 cryptocurrency when it was down in the gutter, when it first launched, and it did not have all the hype that it has now. And I invested in it in the last bull market, and I made some profits. But then what happened with FTX, and FTX holding a substantial amount of Solana, really put me off the project. We'd already seen a huge amount of downtime for Solana in 2021 as well. That put me off the project. And then we had all the issues with the mobile phones as well. So it put me off the project as a whole, but the project has not stopped. If this were any other project without the community backing, I don't think it'd be here right now. But the community have been able to push this and really gain adoption for this project, and that is another reason as to why I think meme coins can do well again, because when it comes to cryptocurrency, if you have a community, you can push through all the bad times. Now Solana is growing as a project, its ecosystem is growing, and it's really building a strong community there. So it'll be interesting to see what this does within the next year or so. I don't expect, I mean, when it comes to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, it's hard to imagine any of them will not perform well in a bull market, because we all know what happens in a bull market. But we do need to kind of, I think Solana has a huge amount of potential. I just personally don't invest in it because there are other tokens to invest in. We can't all invest in them all. So we all need to invest in what we believe in for the long term as well, and kind of prioritize things. J-Man says, good job, Peter, you taking profits. Peter says ARM is up 362% month. I made some profit. Congratulations there on taking some profit. I know how hard it is to take profit off the table. J-Man says, fetch AI, just keep making new all-time high. I guess it's called price discovery. I don't know, but it's awesome. It's up 680%. I don't want to take profit. I think it's a lot more to go. Rob said, took some profit off as got in at $18. I mean, it's so hard to take profits, but also we need to sadly, it sounds massive, 680, but only invested. So obviously I can't give financial advice. I can't give opinions, but one thing I will say is profit isn't profit until you take it off the table. Unrealized profit is not profit. If you want to make profit, you need to sell. You cannot just sit on a bag forever. And we've all made those mistakes in cryptocurrency before. I don't know. I've not looked at the price action for this token. You seem very confident in it. I can't tell you whether that's a good idea or not because I've not looked at it, but just be super careful. Always take profits, at least what you've put into the token, and then you can feel positive even if the price does go against you. Bitcoin has had a massive move to the upside. There is potential for a pullback. We are not immune to pullbacks because ETFs are here. As Jordan said in a call 2 days ago, we've seen institutional buying. We've not yet seen institutional selling. There is volatility in this market. We are not in an up-only market. That is just not how markets work, so we need to be prepared to take profits when it's tough. And the thing is, you should take profits when you're feeling greedy and buy in when you're feeling fearful. If we take a look at what's going on here, we are seeing, oh no, we don't have the fear and greed index at map up right now. We are seeing a lot of people being super greedy right now in the markets. If we take a look at the fear and greed index, let me pull this up. So this is the one we like to look at here. We are at 80, so we are experiencing extreme greed in the markets right now. So just be careful. Make sure to take profits if you can, and just be careful. I mean, we all are bullish in the long term. We're all super bullish on what's happening in the future, but we need to make sure that we're not in the up-only mentality, because it's a risky game. It's a risky game, and a profit is not a profit until it's realized. Let's see what's going on here. Peter Dell says, questions say I was to swap coins instead of sell coins. Do I pay the same tax? Yeah, you do. If you're trading as an individual, I mean, I'm not a tax expert, so don't quote me on this. But if you dispose of an asset, it means disposing from one cryptocurrency to another. If you sell from BTC into USDT in the UK, that is taxable because you've disposed of the Bitcoin. So definitely something to be considering as well when looking to make different trades. That's like the general rule of thumb. If you are a CSE Plus member, a Crypto Saving Expert Premium member, you can have calls with our legal team who can give a little bit more advice on that, so it's definitely worth doing. I think. Send a message to the Crypto Saving Expert Twitter if you have that, what specific question you have, that question, just send it over to the Twitter, and ask them if the CSC Plus Premium membership would give you access to more information on that. I'm pretty sure it will. And if it does, obviously, you can become a member and you can have a call with someone from the team that knows a lot more about that than I do, because I just kind of shove all of the information to the accountant and let them deal with it. Let's see what's going on here. Rob C, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, let's take a look at what's going on here. So we are 51 days away from the Bitcoin halving. I think the one thing that we need to be looking at here right now is this heat map, because I was very happy to see this heat map this morning. It's not what I expected. We are seeing some key liquidation levels above the price of Bitcoin at $62,786, meaning that if Bitcoin were to move to the upside to that level, we would see a huge amount of traders get liquidated. Now, I am smiling and I am celebrating this because this is shorters entering the market, and this is acting like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin takes the path of most pain, so when we're seeing a key liquidation level be above the Bitcoin price, that makes me feel good. It makes me feel bullish. Peter Dell says, one thing I wanted to ask your thoughts on: how long will the bull market last? A rough idea, please. Now, if you asked me this 3 months ago, I would have said September 2025, all day, every day, super confident in that decision. What we've seen in the last 3 months has been shocking and controversial to my opinions. If we take a look at what's going on for the Bitcoin chart, let's take a look at this. Rob says mad to short a bull market. I can't disagree. Shorting is a wild game. When you short, the potential losses is much higher. You can lose more than 100%. When you long, the maximum loss you can get is if Bitcoin goes to zero. Who thinks that's happening? Peter Dell says, Jess is great value channel, you learn. Smash the bell. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Thank you very much for reminding me there. Let's take a look at what's gone on in previous cycles. So typically, Bitcoin, if we go back to the second halving, for example, and we take a look at the distance between Bitcoin halving and all-time high, we're looking at 526 days. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin halving to all-time high here, we're looking at 548 days. So if the pattern were to continue, I mean, we're looking about 530 days away from the Bitcoin halving, which puts us at around, let's pull the line up there, we're looking at around, why haven't I got any dates on that chart? We're looking at around September 2025. I don't know why it's not giving us the dates down there, but that's what we're looking at. Now, I would have sworn by that had you asked me 3 months ago, but what the price action is doing here is changing that theory, because we don't typically see a high this significant pre-halving. If we take a look at what happened from the second halving, we were down approximately 32% from the all-time high pre-halving. Now, if we take a look here, we were down approximately 28% from the all-time high post-bear market, pre-halving. That's the figure I'm looking at. So here you can see there's the bear market, and then we had this pump, and that got us to 30% lower than the all-time high at that time. Now, if we take a look at what's happening here, it's got to silly prices. We're like 7% down from the all-time high. So how can we come to the same conclusion here? Bitcoin does seem to be pumping faster than it has done in previous cycles, and we seem to have taken a shift. Now, if we take a look, for example, at some other figures, we can get some more ideas. So if we take a look at the second halving bear market, you can see that the bull market lasted from bottom to top around 1,066 days. Now, if we take a look at this version as well, you can see that this lasted around 1,060 days. So if we were to take it from the bottom here and say, look, the bottom is in, and we go to 1,060 days, we're looking at around that September date, like I've said. So those two figures line up for the length of a Bitcoin bull market. But what doesn't line up is this price action pre-halving. If we take a look at some other data as well, we can collect some data here. It's also important to look at the length of a bull market post all-time high. And this is the signal that could indicate that we're going to see a shorter bull market this year. If we take a look at how long the bull market lasted post breaking all-time high, we can see how long Bitcoin could pump this time around. So you can see here that we broke the all-time high on the 1st of March 2017, exactly 6 years ago today. If we take a look at how long it took, let's scroll that down. If we put that to the all-time high, you can see that that was approximately 292 days, so about 10 months. If we take a look at what happened the second time around, and we go from when Bitcoin created a new all-time high to the top of the bull market, 292 days in the first one, we're looking at around 336 days on the second one. So we're averaging out to around 10 months. Now, if we take a look at what's happening here, if Bitcoin's to break this all-time high at $69,000 pre-halving, it could put a 10-month timer on us from here. So instead of us looking at the September deadline, we could be looking at around February 2025 as the deadline. So we need to be taking into account all of these figures when we're making our portfolio. Now, obviously, two of the figures are stating, look, the bull market should last until September 2025 if the 4-year cycles are going to continue and if we're staying in sync with the Bitcoin halvings. But the 10-month kind of trigger for Bitcoin once it creates a new all-time high is a concerning piece of data for me. Now, had Bitcoin stayed at around $50,000 and seen that sideways price action pre-halving and seen a little bit of bearish momentum pre-halving, I would have felt like we were exactly on track, and what we could see is Bitcoin continuing to rally until September 2025. And with that, my plan was to start taking profits in 2025 with January, February, like all of the months up until August, taking staggered profits out of the market. Now, when I say I'm taking profits at this point in the market, I'm typically moving into Bitcoin, not into cash, and I want to actually start to dollar cost averaging out of my Bitcoin towards the middle of next year in preparation for that. But now the markets have changed because we are 7% away from our all-time high, 52 days before the Bitcoin halving. How can we manage that? Because that's a different scenario to what we've ever seen before. Now, we all know that the Bitcoin ETFs have had an impact on this, but I want to be cautious with this piece of information, and I don't want to stick to my original plan. I want to alter it slightly, and I want to be making sure that I've taken profits prior to that 10-month mark. Whenever we do hit that new all-time high, I want to be making sure that I'm taking profits before, like, 9 months after that, 8 months after that. Yes, I'm hopeful that we do see a bull market until September 2025, but that data is daunting on me slightly, that maybe the whole market has shifted into a smaller time frame and we are seeing this tremendous rally now. So we should be a little bit cautious here. I'm super bullish on the Bitcoin price. I'm not quite at Michael Saylor's level yet, but I'm close. Michael Saylor's been saying, look, Bitcoin is a superior asset. It beats real estate. You should never, ever sell. He will be constantly buying the top. Great mentality to have. I'm not quite at that point yet. I would like to take some profit and invest elsewhere just to diversify a little bit more post bull market this time around. But I'm still super bullish on this, and I just want to be cautious that we're taking profits at the right time, because we do not want to go through the blood, sweat and tears that we experienced in the bear market to lose all of our profits. Taking profit is super important, and we just need to be making sure that we are steadily dollar cost averaging in when the time does arise, and we don't go into up only mentality, super bull mentality, because a lot of people made that mistake last time. Randy says, Jess, the one major constant is change. We all need to be ready for it. Yeah, we all need to yes, it's brilliant having a plan. We all definitely 100% need a plan, but we need to be ready to kind of shift when the markets change. We can't be stuck on the 4-year cycles are here and here to stay. This is how it's going to work. We're going to top out in September. We need to be adaptable and ready to change if the market does produce something different for us. So definitely just being careful and taking profits whenever in 2025 ahead of this. And we'll see how the data plans out. As the data changes, we'll be able to adapt a little bit better. But one thing I'm not adapting to is up-only mentality. I refuse to adapt to that one. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Jason Smith says, what are your thoughts on a flip-flopping between Bitcoin and altcoins? Really interesting, because Typically what we see in a bull market is Bitcoin performs well, high caps perform well, mid caps perform well, and low caps perform well. You've all heard me say that so many times on the channel now. Before we do continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Typically we do see 20-30% pullbacks for Bitcoin, and we do see altcoins crash within those periods of time. But we do see in markets the money shift from the higher cap coins into the lower cap coins when people think that the higher cap coins have reached the majority of their potential. So if you're late to a bull market, like now for example, and you're looking at Bitcoin and you're saying, look, it's at $62,000, you may say, actually, I want to invest in Ethereum, or I want to invest in some lower cap coins. And as the bull market goes on, the potential for the higher cap coins is kind of met, and people start to shift down into the lower cap opportunities. But this time is slightly different in that when people are investing through the Bitcoin ETFs, they cannot just shift easily from Bitcoin to some lower cap coins like Ethereum and others. This would change if an Ethereum ETF does launch in May, which fingers crossed it does, because that creates a huge amount of potential for the markets. But right now, there are some traders and some investors in the cryptocurrency space that don't have the ability to make a simple shift from Bitcoin to high cap coins, to Ethereum, and to other coins. So we will have to see if the May ETFs, Ethereum ETFs do get accepted, because I think that will dramatically change the space, just like the Bitcoin ETFs have dramatically changed the space. So I think we need to be keeping an eye on that for Ethereum to continue to outperform Bitcoin at such a rate that it has done in previous cycles. We need to see a huge amount of money flowing into Ethereum to keep that ratio between Bitcoin and continue the growth against Bitcoin. And I think the ETFs are vital for that when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum's value, because Bitcoin's seeing a huge amount of inflows because it doesn't have that barrier to entry. If we don't see those Ethereum ETFs, maybe we will see a slight change in the ratio of growth between Bitcoin and Ethereum during the bull market, because Ethereum still has that barrier to entry. But we will be addressing this in May in a lot more detail when we do have the final decision on that, because I do think that will impact the rate of growth for high cap coins. If Ethereum ETFs get accepted, it could be absolutely insane. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Peter Dell says, question is, lower circulating supply and lower market cap a good thing rather than big market cap and billions of circulation? I mean, it depends on the liquidity of the token at the end of the day. I personally prefer bigger market caps. When you're looking at lower market caps, you're typically taking on more risk. Liquidity is lower. The project obviously typically hasn't been around that long. I prefer higher market caps are typically less risky. There are opportunities in both, though. We've seen some low cap coins perform incredibly well. So you're saying lower circulating supply and lower market cap a good thing? So do you mean percentage of circulating supply? If you're investing in a low cap coin and only 20% of tokens are in circulation, it should ring alarm bells. It should be concerning, because there's a huge amount of tokens there that can be dumped into the markets and rip away all of the liquidity. So definitely something to be talking about. We actually have an article in today's stream when we do finally get onto the cryptocurrency news, where we're talking about some altcoins that are releasing big buckets of tokens into circulation this month, and something to be cautious about. But be careful when you're looking at liquidity. Look at the percentage of tokens added into circulation. If you're investing in projects that have a lot of locked up tokens, make sure to be aware of the date on which those tokens are released into circulation, because we all know how supply and demand works. If the supply is dramatically increased, it can artificially dump the price of the token. So you need to make sure there's enough liquidity there, and you also have the impact of those tokens being sold into the markets as well. So we need to be careful on those dates. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Peter Dell says, could Solana eventually in about 3 years get to about $1,000? Well, what market cap would it take for Solana to get to $1,000? Let's see if we can. Is there a Google calculator that does this? Crypto market cap for token value. Let's see. I'm sure there's a market cap of. I think this is the one. So we can go in here and we can say Solana. Okay, so for Solana to have Bitcoin's current market cap, it would reach $2,751. Now, for Solana to reach Bitcoin's market cap is a big ask, I believe. I really do believe that. I want to do I want to do, I don't want to do market cap of, I want to do value of Solana. Let's see if this is the one. Okay, if token value is $1,000 and its circulating supply is, let's pull up the data. Solana. Here we go. So we have a circulating supply of 35947. 35947. Where's the thing gone? 359. I knew it was gonna do that. 470, and it was. Is that right? Let's check that. Way too many zeros. There we go. Then its market cap is 1,000 million billion trillion. 3 trillion. 5. No, that's not right. Is it? This calculator's not right. But essentially, maybe it is right because it's got a market cap of 59 billion now. If we take a look at the markets here, Bitcoin currently has a market cap of $1 trillion. $1.2 trillion. So this chart isn't right. But essentially, for Solana to reach $1,000, the market cap would need to be like $500 billion. I think it's difficult. I think Ethereum killers have opportunity in the space. Ethereum killers, tokens that are decentralized application platforms. I do still think that none of them are going to flip Ethereum. Let me know what you think in the chat. Do you think any of these Ethereum killers can flip Ethereum? I don't. I think Ethereum's been around too long. I think it already has the credibility in the space. I think if people know about Bitcoin and they want something else, they look at Ethereum. Yes, they may just find some stupid low cap coin, but people know what Bitcoin and Ethereum is. And I think it's got too much of a legacy, too much of a name to really get replaced by a project that's relatively new in the space. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. True love is a wonderful thing, Jonathan. What's going on here? Loving this, Jess, says Bike Man. Thank you very much. Jason Smith says, stop it, Jess, my head hurts. Lots of things to consider in the markets today. We haven't even gotten to the cryptocurrency news yet. I have a call at 1 p.m. in 15 minutes, so we do need to get onto the cryptocurrency news and see what's going on today. Let me check everything is fine in the chat today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button just so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what is going on in the news here today. So first of all, the Vanguard CEO has stepped down. I'd like to give this a round of applause. Where's the cheers button? Maybe it's this one. This is a round of applause because Vanguard have refused to launch Bitcoin ETFs on the platform, creating a barrier of entry. Now, when it comes to the Bitcoin ETFs, we want to see people I don't know what's going on in the chat today. With the Bitcoin ETFs, we want to remove any barriers to entry when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, if people are using Vanguard, they can't get access to Bitcoin ETFs. It means they need to go and get access to another brokerage firm, whatever. So it takes that extra step longer. We don't want that. We want it to be easily accessible. We want Bitcoin ETFs to launch on all of the different platforms to make it really easy for people to invest. So what we're saying with Vanguard is they've said we are not launching Bitcoin ETFs on our platforms. We do not believe in the products. We do not think people should be allowed to invest in these things. And it's caused a lot of uproar. Some people have left Vanguard and moved to alternatives in the competition. But right now, Vanguard CEO has stepped down, so Tim Buckley will leave the firm at the end of the year. So he'll leave his role as the CEO at the end of 2024. He has been with the firm for 33 years and served as CEO for over 6. But the main question is, will the stance on Bitcoin ETFs change? Despite Vanguard's success in traditional finance, the firm opted not to list the spot Bitcoin ETFs for customers to invest in. This resulted in a backlash of unhappy customers closing their accounts and moving to a different firm. However, Buckley's leaving announcement could open the door for a firm to do a U-turn on its Bitcoin stance. So Eric Balchunas has said, it's a Bloomberg analyst, I believe, I can literally hear all the heads exploding right now. See what happens when you with Bitcoin, but I'm 95% sure it has nothing to do with that decision. On flip side though, a new CEO could open door to a repeal of the ban, who knows. I do predict they'll lighten up over time, and James Seifert has also agreed with this decision, and he has said, I know all of my replies are going to be people saying he's stepping down because of the Bitcoin ETFs decision, but I doubt it, ha ha ha. Now I do doubt it, I do doubt that this decision has come off the back of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, but I do think that maybe it is a good move, because potentially they could be launching Bitcoin ETFs and removing that barrier for entry for their users. And this is why people move to crypto in the first place. We don't want people in the suits to put limitations on what we can do with our money, and Vanguard are doing exactly that. But let's take a look at what else is going on in the space. So ETF updates: BlackRock and Grayscale battle it out for highest money flow. So BlackRock's IBIT and Grayscale's GBTC battled yesterday for the highest money flow, with inflow to IBIT narrowly beating outflow from GBTC, which is really good to see, because we want to be able to exceed the GBTC outflows with alternative ETF inflows, and that is exactly what is happening there. Good afternoon, everybody in the chat today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, Rob says, Jess, do you ever read the chat after to make sense of what we're waffling about? Sometimes, yes, I do. Sometimes, yes, I do. Jonathan says, Jess, I told you all-time high before April. You didn't believe me. This isn't the plan. This wasn't on the 4-year cycles, and we've not hit it yet. Maybe you're speaking too soon. We'll see. I think there's a lot of potential for it to do it now, though. Hi, Jess from the Philippines, says Boris. Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hello, Crypto Cody as well. The middle journey says, Jonathan, I showed many great trades. BTC inverted head and shoulders forming at 15k. Everybody said no way. I know, but I was bullish at 15k. I was bullish. I said to one of my friends when Bitcoin was at $17,000, this is it. If you want in, this is it. And they all think I'm a genius after that, but I knew that we were cooking something. I knew that it was on the horizon, so hopefully some of them have listened to me. The middle journey says, Peter Dell says ocean is flying at the moment. Wow, it's taking off. Jonathan says Michael Saylor is the captain of the Bitcoin ship. Good afternoon, everybody in the chat. Let's take a look at what's going on with this news. Peter Dell says, Jess, how do you keep up with the chat? If it was me, I would go bonkers. Do you know what? Some people have much more active chats than we do. I love having an active chat on the stream. It makes it so much easier to stream. And when we first started the stream, there was like one person watching. It was so hard to stream. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So overall, ETFs are looking positive. We've reported on this every single day since like the 10th of January. So I think you all know that it's positive at that point. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. US government moves $922 million worth of seized Bitcoin from Bitfinex's 2016 hack. So the government has migrated a large chunk of its seized Bitcoin from the Bitfinex hack, sparking concerns about a potential sell-off and Bitcoin price dump. Now, in my opinion, they should just dump this already. The US government do actually hold a significant amount of Bitcoin after being so against the asset for a very long time. They've seized this Bitcoin and held on to it for a very long time. The asset's transfer comes amid a recent Bitcoin price jump above the $62,000 threshold. I think they need to sell. If they don't want to be pro-Bitcoin, if they don't want to be positive about Bitcoin, if they want to constantly cause dumps in the asset, you don't deserve to be at these highs. You just do not. On-chain data from blockchain analytics firm Arkham shows that an initial 1 Bitcoin was moved from a wallet holding confiscated assets on behalf of the US government to an unknown Bitcoin wallet address. Shortly after, an additional 2,817 Bitcoins were transferred. Later, 12,300 Bitcoin were sent to a separate wallet. So obviously that first initial Bitcoin sending was just a test to make sure they were doing it right. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So one of the wallet addresses that received the assets currently ranks 67 on the Bitcoin rich list provided by Blockchain Explorer BitInfo charts. The reason for the Bitcoin transfer is still unknown. However, Bitcoin community members on Twitter speculate that the US government may be moving to cash out the Bitcoin stash, triggering a price drop from the leading cryptocurrency. As I said, potentially, but I'd like to see them dump it. I'd like to see them sell. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. The middle journey says 115k end of year Bitcoin. I definitely believe that's possible. Rob says, have put so much effort into trying to get friends, family into crypto at good prices. It's quite disheartening. Hard not to be a told you so person when proven right. It's not even that. It's not even, the hardest bit isn't even to be the told you so person. It's when they come now and say, what should I do? Should I invest? Because right now, it's so much more of a difficult decision. When it was $16,000, $17,000, we could be confident that, what more can Bitcoin do? To lose 50% of value, Bitcoin needs to go down to $8,000. That seemed much more unlikely than Bitcoin shedding 30% now. Being truthfully honest, there's still opportunities in the market for there to be a big dip. I'm not relying on it, but there is still opportunities there. Whereas at those points in time, the market cap would have been there was a bit higher downside than there is now. So it seemed like a more obvious choice then. When people approach now and say, look, what should we do? It's so much more difficult to kind of give any guidance. Obviously, we don't give financial advice because we're not financial advisors, but it's so hard to give guidance at this point because we've all seen the asset go so low and now we're seeing it reach those all-time highs. How can you say with confidence now is a perfect time? You could say it with confidence at $16,000, $17,000. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Jason Smith says, I was there in the early days. I remember the silence. In the bear market, honestly, no one was interested. Peter Effing says, what is Jordan up to? He is as busy as ever, but he has started posting on YouTube once again. And I believe he's going to be really, really involved on the YouTube channels. Next week he's got loads of videos coming, so make sure to stay tuned on that, on both the That Martini Guy channel and on the TMG Trades channel. Let's see what's going on here. Jonathan says Orange had a 30% unlock yesterday, but I think it was already priced in. What do you think? How is the token performing? We'll be able to tell off that. Orange, not Prorange. Orange, let's take a look at that. So it does trade on BitGet. Let's take a look at this. So on the daily chart, it did see a little bit of kind of uncertainty in the markets yesterday. Today it's looking pretty nice. I think when it comes to an unlock, the unlocks happen now. The tokens are in circulation. When it comes to unlocks, I'm just looking particularly at what's happening on that day. And that's the day of is when I'm being cautious. Typically when you are in a pre-sale and you get access to your tokens and you want to sell, you're selling on the day. You're not selling 2 days later. So I think that could be kind of the selling pressure from the unlock could be over there. Some other type of sort of selling pressure could come, but I'm not concerned in terms of the unlock there. Let's see what's going on here. Peter Effing says, people asking about Bitcoin now too late. I told them 2 years ago. Middle Journey says, I agree. The more I go on about crypto, the more they pull away from me. Don't forget to smash the like, says Randy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest crypto crazy news. What we are looking at right here is, I don't necessarily think it's too late. I still think Bitcoin has a huge amount of potential, but you just have to have that long-term mentality. Rob says, we need to change narrative, though YouTubers will need to too. If new retail find these channels, they don't want to hear it's too late. I don't think it's too late. I really don't think it's too late. I just think you have to have more of a long-term mentality when it comes to Bitcoin here. The Middle Journey says, I think most people live month to month and won't put into crypto. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Obviously, in the UK, we're having the cost of living crisis now, so it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you don't have confidence in the asset, if you don't have time to research the asset all the time. How can you gain confidence to put a percentage of your wage into an asset like this, which is known for a huge amount of volatility, when you're living paycheck to paycheck? It's really hard. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Peridita says, I'm usually the person in the corner muttering about crypto. Me too. I have to stop myself from talking about it sometimes. You'd think these live streams would get it all out of me, but it doesn't. It just triggers me to speak more. Let's see what's going on here. So SBF is seeking less than 7 years in prison for his role at collapsed FTX. We did speak about this in yesterday's stream. He was meant to be facing upwards of 110 years in prison, basically just life in prison. But his lawyers are saying, actually, no. They want to request an 18-month prison sentence after he agreed to pay a $50 million fine. So things are changing here. They're looking to shorten this sentence significantly. This is what Jordan predicted from the start. I hate to say it. When FTX first collapsed, we came on the channel and we said, what's going to happen here? And Jordan said FTX is going to relaunch as an exchange. And this was at a time when nobody believed that was possible. I think it's being ruled out of the question now, but that was really an insight that nobody was really considering at the time. And he also said SBF is going to get off a lot lighter than people expect. And I think that this could be playing out right now. Let's see what's going on. in the rest of the cryptocurrency news here, I've got a team meeting that starts in 4 minutes, so let's try and speed this up slightly. Gemini earned customers to receive full payouts. So after what happened when some assets were frozen after earned customers were left in limbo since the product was frozen after the FTX collapse. There were lots of issues when it came to Gemini earn because they basically, what happened with Gemini, centralized exchange run by the Winklevoss twins, they created their earn product, so you could deposit tokens into the Gemini earn section. They would take those funds and lend them over to Genesis, a different company, and Genesis would pay interest on borrowing those tokens, and that interest would be paid back to the Gemini users. But then Genesis filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and there was difficulty on recovering those funds for Gemini earn users. Then FTX collapsed, and the lenders' financial woes spiraled, essentially. So FTX was the straw on the camel's back, but there were many problems before that. We were reporting on that every single day on the channel. It was a massive story at the time, but now those customers are finally being made whole here, hopefully in their crypto value rather than the dollar value there, but they will receive 100% of their crypto assets back there. This means if customers held 1 Bitcoin on their account before the situation, they will receive 1 Bitcoin back. That's what we like to see. That's not how FTX have been reportedly dealing with that. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the next article here. So Shido slumps 94% as hacker steals $35 million from staking contract. The exploit saw around 50% of the token circulating supply drained from the staking contract. Not what we want to see. I think we really need to improve on security in this space here. Let's continue on here. Marathon Digital reports surge in revenue amid increase in Bitcoin production. This is a huge Bitcoin mining company, and they have been mining very, very quickly within the last 12 months, and they've managed to mine a staggering, let's see how many coins they've been able to mine, 12,852 Bitcoin in 2023. Now, this is a significant number. This is a very high number, but do you know what makes it sound small? When you hear that ETFs have been buying up 11,000 Bitcoin per day. There's a huge difference there, and huge amounts of opportunity when it comes to the Bitcoin ETFs, and I think that really highlights that. Let's see what else is going on here. So I'm going to drop this article in the chat, or maybe we'll talk about these ones tomorrow. So the DePIN project's revolutionizing physical infrastructure in 2024. So DePINs has been the latest talking point in the Web3 landscape and a position to be one core facilitator of the blockchain's mass adoption. I'm going to drop this in the chat if you are interested to learn more about DePIN. Let's see. There we go. We can put that in the chat there. And let's see what else is going on here. So WorldCoin's world slides as Elon Musk sues OpenAI. OpenAI founder Sam Altman has also become the founder of a cryptocurrency, WorldCoin, and now OpenAI has been sued. This is impacting WorldCoin's price. We're seeing a lot of correlation there between OpenAI's movements and WorldCoin's movements. When OpenAI said they were going to do text to video and they were going to launch Sora, WorldCoin pumped just because they're both related with Sam Altman. So we're seeing lots of correlations there, and obviously this lawsuit has created some correlations in a negative way. Let's see what's going on here. Over $3 billion in crypto tokens set to unlock this March with Arbitrum massive unlock. This is the article that I was talking about earlier in today's stream. So big amounts of tokens are being moved into circulation, and what we could see there is tokens artificially being dumped, because if we look at supply and demand and we see supplies dramatically increasing all of a sudden, the token value can't just stay the same. So what we're seeing here is token unlocks across many different cryptocurrencies. According to founder of the venture capital firm Capybara, not all tokens will dump on the market immediately. Major investors don't do that. Given the potential for massive growth ahead, it might not be wise to sell tokens now. However, there could be a point where the market becomes wary of a large unlock, leading to pressure on the token price. So what unlocks have we got here? We've got Aptos unlocking 6.76% of its circulating supply on the 13th of March. We've got SUI, layer 1 blockchain, poised to unveil an additional 34.62 million units of SUI. So we don't have the percentage of the tokens there, but significant numbers here. Optimism, and layer 2 blockchain, will actually be releasing 24.16 million OP tokens on the 29th of March. So you need to look at the percentages here. So looking at this percentage of the circulating supply being added into circulation is really helpful to know like how significant this is, whether you need to be starting to take a little bit of profits before to buy the dip during the event. These can cause significant price fluctuations, so definitely something to be aware aware of when it comes to your investments. And finally, we've got record high realized cap shows unprecedented economic investment in Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin network and its participants have never been as economically invested in Bitcoin as they are now. So Bitcoin's realized cap is not an innovative metric for assessing the valuation of Bitcoin that differs significantly from traditional market caps. Unlike the market cap, which simply multiplies the current market price of Bitcoin by the total number of coins in circulation, this offers a more granular and economic meaningful insight into Bitcoin holders. So record high realized cap shows unprecedented economic investment in Bitcoin. I mean, we all know that. We all know people tend to be very bullish on Bitcoin right now. Jonathan says, I'm hoping orange rockets back to 0.79 if the sell pressure has gone. I believe that the sell pressure will have come to an end from that unlock there. Peter Effing says, only a couple of million Bitcoin left on exchanges now. 450 a day after halving. Buying still going on Monday to Friday. So there'll be about 450 Bitcoin added into circulation every day post halving, which is only 51 days away. So huge amounts of potential here. Let's see what's going on when it comes to BTC USDT right now. Bitcoin is seeing a nice move upwards, $62,220 right now. Huge amounts of potential here. It is the weekend, as somebody has just highlighted in the live chat there, meaning there will be no stream tomorrow, and it also means that typically we do see some sideways action, and hopefully Bitcoin can hold on to this level of support here and see some nice sideways action, which could help us consolidate and give some altcoins the time to shine. But that's all we have for now, so thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I need to jump on a call with the team and see what's going on at Crypto Saving Expert. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, check out Crypto Saving Expert. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. I've said that about 4 times now. Goodbye.